hands, how many of you have ever worked at fast food or a restaurant? Right. A lot of us, and some of us, at least we've all been customers. My pet peeve are customers that are just really rude or inconsiderate. And it's important to know the common mistakes that customers make that make them seem really rude or inconsiderate so that we can learn how to be better customers ourselves in general. I work at Panera, and I've seen many rude customers and customers who have just been like flat out rude, really, like I learned a lot of the common mistakes customers make, and also I found out some ways that you could just, like some of the basic customer etiquettes and how it can make you be a better customer in general. So first of all, the flat out rude customers. Sometimes customers are just plain out rude, they'll cuss you out or they'll just be like really unhappy no matter what you do, you cannot please them. And there was this lady, she came into Panera, and at first she was fine. And then as soon as she started like looking at the prices, she was like, oh, those prices are awfully high. Can I see the portion sizes? So I started showing her our different bowls and just the sizes of our salads, our soup, sandwiches. And she just started getting really nasty. She was like, oh my goodness, your prices are so high and your portions are so small. I could eat at Colton's, Applebee's, I could eat at Asian buffet, and I'll pay the same amount and get a whole bunch of more food. So she just stood there yelling at me about her prices, and I was like, oh my goodness, there's really nothing I can do about it. So I'm just standing there listening to her, and finally she orders after like 15 minutes of yelling at me. She orders her food, goes, sits down, and then after she's done eating, she comes back and she's like, well, now I have to go eat at another restaurant and pay more money because I'm not full. You could have just started out at that other restaurant. So, yeah, there are those customers that are just flat out rude to you, but then there's also those customers that they do something and like really aggravates you, but they're most likely not even doing it on purpose. And that's just the common mistakes that most customers do make. And that's the ones that will they'll stand right in front of you at the register and they'll be taking forever to order, like, I don't know what I want to eat, and it's the lunch rush and there's a whole line behind them and all these people are waiting to order and this person's just like, oh, I don't know what I want to eat. At least just kind of stand to the side, take as much time as you want looking at the menu, and let the other people go before you because they'll be faster than you anyways. Also, those that are super needy, picky, they'll order a sandwich, get nothing on it, and then order completely different ingredients on it. And so then they'll end up paying more because they'll be ordering avocado and cheese when that sandwich doesn't even have that on it. And then they get mad about that, and so it's like, just order a different sandwich that might be a little more pricey, but at least it has those ingredients that you want. So those are just some of the common mistakes, and also in addition, just like the basic etiquettes of being a customer is definitely don't do those two things that I just mentioned, and also when you go into drive-thru, keep in mind that when you're in drive-thru, the people inside, they actually have a time going. Like for Panera, we have to get our order in and out in 5 minutes, max, drive-thru. I used to be one of those people that I'd go into drive-thru and I'd just sit there forever and I'd be like, oh, I don't know what I want. And I never even realized that they had a time going and they're trying to keep me under that time, but I'm the one that's making them take forever actually. But they're still getting the blame for it if their time goes over. So when you do go into drive-thru, keep that in mind that they do have a time going, and just make sure you know what you want to order. And don't order like a huge meal for $50, just come inside, because honestly, if you come inside, we'll be a lot more patient with you and more willing to deal with it than the person in drive-thru. They'll just be really mad at you and you'll have a worse experience. And also, don't come in at least 30 minutes before closing, because if you come in 5 minutes before, we inside, we're trying to get out of there as fast as we can because we do have lives. We have class in the morning. We want to get out of work as fast as possible. So when you're coming in 5 minutes before close and you sit down and eat, you're making us stay there way longer than we should. If a place closes at 9 o'clock, that means 9 o'clock is when you should be out of that restaurant. Not, oh, it's 8:58, I can go in there and still eat. No, it doesn't work that way. So I hope this all helped you learn something about just the employee's perspective of how customers should be. And sometimes you don't realize it, but you are making our job a lot harder by doing that. And so now that you do know about rude customers and just some of the common mistakes, I hope this encourages you to try to be a better customer yourself. And when you are a kinder customer, in return, we employees will take 2 steps to be nicer to you, and you will have an overall better experience.